Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new CTO talk. Above everything else, happy new 2024. This is the first CTO talk of the year. May all your reinvent with technologies wishes come true. Since this year, I'm going to present myself as a Globant. As last year, we've been acquired, Pentalog was acquired by Globant, and Globant is reinventing the digital space with technology. So for those who don't know much about Globant, I strongly recommend go and visit globant.com and study a bit about ourselves. There is literally no project that we cannot do in this world, no space that we cannot work with as the technology, no region that we cannot serve. We have almost 30,000 employees and much more, all that for you to explore on the site. Now, that being said, about Globant, let's come back to the CTO talk. Why are we doing this? So a few years back, we've started to work on the definition of technology leadership roles. CIOs, CTOs, VP of engineering, engineering managers, we've structured those roles. And somehow all these exercises land somewhere in an idealistic space. So this is how the ideal role looks like. And we said we need a different instance. We need a place where we invite real people doing the job, real technology leaders, and we ask them the same set of questions. And of course, there will be different answers. And the value comes from these different answers. This is what our audience is looking for. And I hope this is why you are also here. And that's half of my responsibility. I have a set of questions that I'm going to ask to my dear guest. I'm going to introduce in a second. And the other half of the success of this CTO talk is you, dear audience. You can write your questions in the Q&A module that we have here in the webinar, and I will ask our guest kindly to answer to your questions. You can do that on the fly. I will find the right moment to ask them. That being said, Martin, please join the stage and tell us a few words about yourself and the great company you're working for.
Hey, everybody, and hi, Cornel. Yeah, great to be here, and thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm Martin, VP Engineering at SumUp. We are a leading global fintech provider with a focus on small merchants. What we strive after is a world where really everybody can build a thriving business. And we do this by offering an entire portfolio of products and services. We started out a long time ago with these small white boxes that some in the audience probably know for card acceptance, but in the meantime, we have an entire large portfolio of products, POS solutions, business bank account, online store, and so on and so on. Over 4 million active merchants in over 30 countries. We are over 3,000 people in 25 offices. I joined SumUp 4.5 years ago, and I lead engineering in the Growth Tribe, an EP&D team that's primarily concerned with new merchant acquisition and onboarding value streams. And we do this twofold. On the one hand, the team of 50 plus builds experiences for new merchants, like the card reader, the hardware purchase shop, the onboarding flow. And also we build and maintain and provide platforms and tools for the marketing teams across the globe. My background, my story, my nerd story started out like for so many programming basic on the Commodore 64. I then got distracted for 15 years or so, focusing on business. And I actually only started professionally programming in my early 30s. Did this in a bunch of smaller companies. I'm traditionally a startup, smaller company kind of guy, but then over time, like got transitioned again into leadership roles. And yeah, this is what I do today. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, with pleasure. Like, I think it's gonna be an amazing talk. Thanks for being with us. Huh? Let's start with the basics. How does your role look like in the company? What are the main responsibilities?
Yeah, it's quite easy. So SumUp defines VP engineering. So the responsibility is running the engineering org of a large and critical area at SumUp end to end. So really everything from creating the environment for the engineers to do the very best work of their lives, pace setting, delivery accountability, attracting top talent, shaping and moderating technical strategy, and then a bunch of SumUp-wide responsibilities, being a member of the so-called Global Engineering Core, which is a forum shaping the engineering org and culture as a whole. And yeah, communicate or representing the tribe across all of SumUp.
You said the word tribe twice. So
Yes.
where does it come from?
Tribe is we basically follow the Spotify model of tribes and squads and chapters and so on. There's lots of content on this online. Basically, a tribe is a group of squads aligned towards like one or few value streams for the business.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Mhm.
And what's the most difficult aspect of your job?
The most difficult aspect.
Yes, an easy question.
I think for me personally, the public part of attracting top talent, to be honest. And this is also the reason why I'm here today. So this is one of my New Year's commitments to go out more and represent more to the outside. This is not coming naturally to me, so I didn't do a lot of public external speaking in the past. Yeah, I would say that's like one of my big learning areas or growth areas at the moment.
I'm honored that you start doing this with us, so that's great.
Yes.
And you've said something about technology strategy. Now it's not in the right order of questions that I've prepared for us today, but how much do you agree with the quote, technology strategy is business strategy for SumUp?
For my area in SumUp, I would phrase this more as engineering strategy follows business strategy, or business strategy informs technology strategy. So really, all like what we are here for at SumUp is we are here for delivering merchant value. And this is really the overarching goal. And like all our technology choices and investment priorities really need to serve that singular purpose.
Okay. Let's go back to the responsibilities area. Like we know every technology leader plays the role as a translator, like translating business to technology. You said it a bit, huh? And the other way around. What can you tell us about this translator role for your current position? How does it decline for you in your daily basis?
It's pretty challenging for me to actually take this apart or see this separately from my role, because this is really what I'm doing all day. And as I said, right, so the like all of engineering is serving the business strategy, is about delivering merchant value in a fast and reliable way. So I'm really all the time within these two worlds, and really yeah, going back and forth.
And to whom do you report? Let's start with that. And then let's discuss a bit about who reports to you.
Yeah, I report into the CTO directly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And who reports to you?
Like all the engineering managers of the tribe, plus a small group of quite senior individual contributors.
And you connect monthly with, I don't know, how many people in your teams? Like, are you very connected with 10 people, 30 people, 100 people?
You mean across SumUp or
SumUp.
within the tribe?
In your organization.
Across SumUp on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
It has to be really rough guess, 50, 60 people, I would say.
And do all the entire company align with the Spotify model, or there's something else?
So all of EP&D, so engineering, product, and design, follows the Spotify model, aligns with the Spotify model. Other functions, marketing, finance, and so on, they have different organizational models.
And can you say a few words about the technical stack, just to set up a bit the context? So what kind of technologies are you using?
Our technical stack is really, so across SumUp, it's really broad because the domains are very, very different. So we do have everything from really high performance, heavily regulated payment services towards the more stock web services and microservices. What we in my area do is we try to write all backends in either Node TypeScript or in Golang, just for T-mobility and building up expertise. Next.js, Vercel is very prominent in the web app space. On the data front, Snowflake, and these are the leading technologies that we have.
Okay, so someone is putting a comment question here, like, sounds like we can welcome developers from SumUp to JavaScript camp in the summer then.
Nice.
So I'll let you connect afterwards if you want to
discuss
more. So I think some interactions are here in the chat. I prefer the Q&A. I also read the chat. So, but yeah, I'm gonna take a question from Aaron. Can you talk about where and how you use Elixir? I think I saw it on some of the career posts.
I will need to get back to you on this, where we are using this at the moment. So it is not in my in my area directly. We do not use Elixir. Let me get back to you on this. Please connect me on LinkedIn, and so I have your contact.
And I'll get another one and then get back to my questions. So how do you cultivate adaptability across the organization for changes in the organization? For example, security standard implementation, as this is a very challenging aspect for startups and small organizations.
Adaptability. Can you clarify what?
Yeah, how do you cultivate adaptability across the organization for changes in the organization? Security standards, it was an example, as this is a very challenging aspect for startups and small organizations.
So basically, I understand the question as like, how do we manage change? How do we not overburden the organization with change, as there is lots of change going on? It's a constant challenge and one of the key responsibilities of technical and all leadership, as I see it. We operate in a very dynamic and very challenging, competitive and regulatory and fast-changing landscape. There is plenty of change. What we try to do culturally is really resist this framing of change as something bad and really trying to resist this idea of, or when will we finally have stability? This is more, so I personally like to see, and this is also what I try to convey to the organization, like have more this model of you have a change muscle and you need to constantly train this, and there will not be long-term stability because there is always something to change. I hope that answers the question. If not, please also reach out on LinkedIn afterwards.
Yeah, or ask new questions in the Q&A. For me, it's how you interpret it. It's how also I read the question. So thanks for answering that. Getting back to my set of questions, and I had something about governance.
Yes.
What can you say about governance, and if that's important for you as a topic, as a, I don't know, instances that you have in the company and efforts that the company invests in?
Yeah. So there are many definitions of the word governance. I think this, for technology selection, for example, this traditional sense of governance as control, we prescribe what everybody needs to do. I am not personally not a big believer in this, and also this would not at all work as SumUp. The SumUp culture puts strong emphasis on autonomy, so there is really, it's not in the cards to even, like save, like in the regulated space or with security, critical security topics, of course, and everybody understands this. But apart from this, this control notion, top-down notion of governance is not viable. It's not an option. What I do believe, though, and what we feel a lot, is that one of the big challenges that comes with autonomy is technology sprawl. And technology sprawl comes with problems, especially in terms of delivery pace, the resulting merchant experiences, the consistency thereof, and so on. Team mobility suffers. So I do think, and we do invest into alignment and like reducing the amount of technologies that we use in the organization, and this is one of the core responsibilities of the global engineering core. Practically, what we are doing is we use TechRadar, and so the TechRadar is not mandatory. What we use there as an alignment model, it's so-called centers of gravity, and centers of gravity are patterns, frameworks, decisions that we ask everybody in the org to follow unless they have a very good reason not to. And there is a culture of, like if you deviate, if you, for example, you build a backend service which does not use Golang, but you use a different technology, then people are actually, so there is a culture of people actually expecting and accepting questions of why did you do this, and normally they put this in writing. And yeah, there are good reasons for deviating from standard technologies, and we do have this, but all in all, we constantly try to align, try to standardize, and reduce the size and the surface of the tech radar technologies.
And you've said something about that. I think we are going to get back a bit on the technology maturity and tech radar maybe a bit later, but you said something about culture. And how do you define culture at SumUp? How do you find it? What are the main attributes of the SumUp culture?
The main attributes of SumUp culture. So autonomy is a belief in autonomy is a large part of the culture. We trust teams, so we do have strategic alignment, of course. We do have OKRs, but within these bounds, we trust teams and individuals to make the right choices if they have the right information available. Delivery excellence is a very important recurring theme. We all try to constantly get better and hold ourselves up to high engineering standards. Team first. So we serve the team, and most of all we serve the merchant. So we should tie back whatever we are doing every day to what value are we actually delivering for the merchant, which should inform everybody's choices. I think these are some of the key aspects which come to mind now.
Excellent. Autonomy, trust, delivery excellence, team first. Love that. I hope the audience will also get inspired from it, or maybe your future developers. You said something about OKRs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that pops a lot in CTO talks.
Yep.
Is that something systematized at SumUp, or is something like a tool that some use, some don't?
It is systematized. I have to say that, and I think for good reason and for the benefit of everyone, not all functions follow OKRs exactly by the book. So what everybody is doing, every piece of the organization is doing, is setting quarterly goals.
Okay,
And
so in a sense, it's tightly related to priorities and how to set up expectations. But the way
yes,
everyone reacts to this OKR, it's a bit different depending on the function or the team.
exactly. I mean, you have lots of heated I think you've come across this probably. We have a lot of heated conversations. To what degree should they be aspirational? So should we aim way too high? And there are different opinions within SumUp, and also it makes more or less sense for different areas of the company, right? It's like if you have a bunch of stakeholders and they really rely on your deliverables, and you need to commit to certain things because, for example, there needs to be communication planning ahead of time, then it doesn't make too much sense to define stretch goals that you then don't think you will reach, but you need to commit to certain deliveries on certain dates. So there are different needs and expectations for goal setting, and I think we are doing quite well in liberally following this concept, but not prescriptively by the book in all areas.
Thanks for the answer. I have tons of questions already just from what we said already. So and there are also related there, but I'm gonna just a short one about aspirational. You said so the growth tribe. How much of the work there is aspirational?
Wow, can you try to rephrase?
Like aspirational work, like things which are more like let's try. We don't know precisely what's going to be the outcome of it.
Yeah.
How?
So All our teams, like we have a culture of experimentation, right? So we prioritize learning. We run hypothesis-driven experiments all the time in all areas, basically. So, and then validating larger changes through A/B tests, and then gradually rolling them out. Like most of them are small bets. It's like a change here and there. If you mean with aspirational, like really massive loon shots, like doing things entirely differently, or a big investment into some research project or so on, this is not happening too often in our area. Again, I think, and this is how I interpret our the tribe's purpose, is we are really there to optimize the merchant experience and the experience of the internal stakeholders, really for day-to-day value delivery. And the focus is way more on this. How can we optimize experiences? How can we deliver in a fast and secure and reliable way?
You've totally answered my question. Thanks a lot. So I'm getting back to the OKR thing, the question. So a question from Antoine. Do you use an OKR system to define team priorities? And if not, what do you use?
Yes, we do. We use an OKR system to define team priorities. So there are, it's a layered system, quite standard, I believe. Company OKRs, tribe OKRs, squad or team OKRs. It's not, so they do inform the lower layers. Again, like we are not pedantic about, but every team's OKR needs to then inform the tribe OKR, and there can be no deviations and so on. It happens here and there that a squad's current focus is not perfectly represented within like a higher layer OKR, and that's perfectly fine. But yes, we use this for teams as well.
I hope you've got your answer, Antoine. I'm going to take some more questions from the audience. From Nicola. How many squads do you manage? Oh, there are a bunch of questions from Nicola. Let's take this one. How many squads do you manage?
It's eight squads.
8 squads. How these squads are composed? Backend, frontend, product owner, QA.
So there is no one size fits all approach. It depends on the domain. Like that's important to say. So they are mostly they are not like for individual projects, but they are for domains. So for example, there is a squad which takes care of the hardware shop and the logistics process. There is another squad which owns marketing technology. And these two squads, just taking them as examples, they have very different skills needs. So marketing technology, for example, has data science needs for predictive modeling of merchant transaction volume or net revenue, or so on, whereas the shop and logistics team does not. So we really look at we do skills mapping, and we look at the needs that squads have, and we staff accordingly. We do have product managers and engineering managers in every squad, product designers in those that own critical experiences. Data analysts are working on the tribe level and jumping squads, but they oftentimes have a focus squad or two focus squads for some period of time, like a month or a quarter. Yeah, that's it. QA also varies between squads. We do have squads that do traditional, so who rely a lot for good reason, I believe, on manual QA. We have other squads which shifted left a lot. It really depends also on the skill sets and interests of the respective engineers.
Another example of somehow autonomy
Yes.
based on skills, on context, on very interesting. So I think that answers your answers are very rich. So thanks for that in the name of Nicolas. Nicolas had other questions in his question. Did you already manage squad integration from M&A? And how do you manage that?
What integration from?
From M&A, I think it's from management and acquisition. So how
Yeah,
do you...
no, I didn't. I don't have experience there.
Nicolas, I hope you're happy with the answers. I'm going further with what systems or processes are in place to gather and incorporate feedback from the engineering team into product planning and development? A question from Victoria.
That's a good one. That's a big one. So all teams follow some kind of agile process. Some more Scrum by the book, others more in a Kanban-ish fashion. Some do sprints, others not. But all of them do have regular planning and refinement sessions where engineers do take very, very active roles. Again, it's not a hard requirement on being a valuable contributor, contributing engineer to this. Some are more inclined in that direction and others not, and this is perfectly fine. Yeah, so this is really on the day-to-day. There is little separation of concerns in the sense of like, hey, you just develop your stuff and I call the shots as to what we are doing. This is really not what we are doing. We believe in diversity of thought a lot, diversity in general, but also in this context, particularly diversity of thought, as in different perspectives coming together do improve the quality of the solutions and the quality of the problem understanding and then only solution. So it's really it's baked, very deeply baked into the collaborative culture that we are having. In addition to this, we do have regular dog fooding sessions where everybody in the tribe uses the products themselves. We offer day or longer internships in customer care, and an offering that some engineers pick up. Yeah, I think this is some of them. We do have employee net promoter score, so employee satisfaction surveys where engineers do have the opportunity to not only feedback or have influence what the teams are doing, but generally across SumUp. There's also a very, very healthy exchange of ideas and an open culture of criticism going on some massive Slack channels with like thousands of people where lots of engineers chime in. I'm probably forgetting some because it's really baked into the system at every level.
Can you add some spicy stuff in here, like something that went bad from all this process, like observed from the technology and couldn't be applied in product in time, or I know, can you share an experience where things didn't work as you expected?
Something that went bad because engineers, or in the way that engineers like influence product.
Yeah, so incorporate feedback from the engineering team into the product planning and development. Something that, I don't know, engineers really thought it was important, but in the end, in the product, it didn't, I don't know, go well in the planning.
So I can share about. So we of course we do have conflict. We like constructive conflict. So we discuss and argue about priorities and focus all the time. I'm trying to think of a concrete example. I mean, like one very common failure mode is fixing some tech debt, or having a massive rewrite which takes a while, but then does not deliver business value or user value and slows down. But we are keenly aware of this like obvious failure mode, and this is not what's happening, or like at least in the past, since I'm there, what happened at large scale.
It's already a
Well,
good answer. So something that happened and now it's
it's more like, I mean, like what is happening, and it's really hard to say with like hindsight is always easy, right? But in the moment, of the decision, there are, so we are incurring technical debt like everyone, right? And then you have a certain piece of the flow which, like, due to competitive pressure or like announced regulatory changes, is under huge like time pressure and delivery pressure, and we just need to move really, really fast. And of course, sound architecture and clean code cannot take priority there. So there are a few systems where like working in could be faster and more pleasant, but I see this more as, that's it would be wrong. Like if this wasn't the case, then we would be over prioritizing on technical excellence at the expense of delivery, right? So I'm sorry, I will think more. If I can think of something, I will share, but there is no like due to engineer participation in planning, I do not have a good example right now of a like clear failure.
It's already a good answer, because the goal is in the exploring and how you explore all these answer. I think I'm at least very happy with the details that you've shared, and thanks for that. It recalls me of a saying in architecture where we say we rarely choose from the best available options out there when we take decisions. So there's always something contextual, and you take from the options that you have available for you, and you decide and you go with it, and it's never
Yes.
perfect. Thank you for that. And going to the next question from Raj. I think Raj is the person who also asked earlier about adaptability across organizations. So let me take the question from Raj. Do you maintain your own infrastructure, or is it outsourced?
We have shout out to Primož and the crew. We have an amazing platform engineering function within SumUp, who standardize infrastructure. This is really, again, motivated by fast and predictable and secure delivery, and by we deal a lot with this concept of cognitive load. We try to limit cognitive load for everyone, but in this case in particular for engineers, so that not everybody needs to bother, or we do not need this like skill of really understanding thoroughly and in detail all layers of like where our services run. So thankfully, I'm super glad that this is standardized and we do not run this our own. But
Very happy to
it's
hear
one
that.
of the amazing services, and to me really. As said, like I'm my history is more smaller companies, and I was like, to be perfectly honest, I was skeptical when I joined SumUp. I had this bet going actually with the my former boss and friend who got me to SumUp, who convinced me to come. I told him like, nah, Andy, you're seeing something there, but I'm skeptical, and I really might run away within probation period because I feel like politics and bureaucracy and so on. And I have to say, what SumUp really achieves to do is like this amazing balancing act between, on the one hand, startup like autonomy and clear accountability and drive, but then what the scale brings is really world-class support functions. So platform engineering being one, talent acquisition, and this entire people organization. It's really amazing, and this is really something that you just like by size you and funds you cannot get in a startup. So for me, these provided internal services are it's stunning. One of the big
It must
advantages.
also have impact on employee experience, and you should see it somewhere in the ENPS there.
Absolutely.
Looks great. There was also a second question about it. If you can give a brief idea about the stack in this area of the infrastructure, the stack of the infrastructure.
It's Kubernetes, like we run on Kubernetes, so like all the cloud stuff is on Kubernetes clusters. We do have like tighter regulated services and less regulated. So there is this PCI zone, which is especially hardened and separate from the other services that we are running. Most web experiences are hosted on Vercel, or are deployed and hosted on Vercel using Next.js. I could talk an hour about the entire stack there. Like we like for observability, we are super happy with Honeycomb. Incident.io for incident management, so in this operations space. And we do have a very very nice internal services as well, which make it very easy to spin up and deploy your services without any interaction with ops teams or so on.
Dear audience, I hope that's helpful, and it sounds a great developer experience, huh? What you say. So
I mean, there's always work to do, right? It's like it's like you have like some are more happy, others and I'm having it these days, others really want their full autonomy, and because we do not do too much top-down control, there is always friction, right? You cannot make everybody happy, but we are trying hard, and I think platform engineering is doing a really good job.
Thanks, Martin. Let's go to Simon. Simon's question. Could you please explain a little more about your centers of gravity? Yes, you've said it. It's not something you hear about often, but it sounds like quite a developed concept at SumUp. Do you have a formal approach to defining them?
So really the core idea of centers of gravity I already laid out. It's standards and frameworks and technology choices that we want, in an ideal world, if we had a magic wand, we would everybody we would want everybody to follow them, unless there are very good reasons not to. And we try to be rigorous and hold ourselves accountable to, you know, I mean, obviously, like, hey man, just because you want some experience in that shiny new technology for your CV is obviously not a very good reason, but you need to argue in business value terms, basically, right? So that's the core idea of it. The two main forums which define and evolve different centers of gravity is on the one hand the so-called Global Engineering Core. Global Engineering Core is a gathering of technology leaders, mostly leadership roles, so the CTO, VPs, directors, that sort of folk. This is more for the organizational and the process centers of gravity. And the other forum, which is impactful in this, which owns, for example, the evolution of the tech radar, is the so-called engineering board. Engineering board is a gathering of impactful individual contributors. So many of the staff engineers, staff plus engineers, so staff and principal that we do have, but also, you know, if there are certain special skills that need to be represented there, it's not exclusively, it's not only these higher levels. Yeah, what they do is they do evolve standards through an RFC process and also contribute.
There's an RFC process there's
Yes.
an in-house RFC process where
Yes.
okay.
Absolutely. Like we are very so we try to be a writing organization as much as possible for, you know, decision logs, RFCs, design documents, just, you know, just for alignment, like for clarity of thought reasons, because like I personally believe a lot in this clear writing is clear thinking. You cannot write clearly if you do not think about a problem clearly, and by writing it down, all the fuzziness, it really comes out, right? Yeah, but then also alignment is just we operate across many different time zones, and so we try to be co-located. We try to spend time together. We have a strong belief that magic happens when folks come together in the same place, also for trust building and for talent retention and so on. It's just very important to spend time in physical space with colleagues and other parts of the organization. But of course, this is not always possible at our scale. So there is need for async alignment, and writing is a very, very important, if not the most important, component in
So
achieving this.
many things that I think it's worth mentioning. Every, I don't know, 3 words that you said have raised another 3-4 questions, but time flies, 12 minutes. And I'm gonna go fast. Let's do 1 minute, 1.5 minutes per question. Let's try. I need 2 minutes at the end, so that I ask you the last question.
Yeah.
Piotr, when it comes to experimenting and testing new ideas, solutions, functionalities, how much do you do this compared with tasks that are defined and sure to do? So when it comes to experimenting and testing new ideas, so new ideas compared with tasks that you are sure how to do them.
I find it pretty hard to different, like to really like put a hard line. So this is what we know that we do, and this is experimentation, because we do have an underlying experimentation mindset, right? We try to be, especially intellectually, super humble. You know, it's not too important what we believe, but in the end, like we need to emphasize with the merchant, and this is like not always easy from our vantage point. So even for the things that we know we need to do, we are still experimenting a lot. If that makes sense, I hope it does. If not, then ping me on LinkedIn and we can have a longer discussion about this. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning of the quarter, like we do have a quarterly planning process, and on a high level, we then pretty much align on, you know, what we want to deliver, not particularly how, and the how is then prone to experimentation and sound testing and so on. But yeah, there is like most of the things I think are pretty well aligned beforehand.
I'm going to Antoine, who asked the question again. What are your 3 high-value 2024 roadmap items you are most excited about?
2024 roadmap items. So I'm
what you can share with us. Huh?
Exactly. So I will stay a little bit fuzzy here. They have to do, or one of the domains which have really outsized impact of the long-term success of the company is this entire onboarding and verification, KYB, KYC space and experiences. So this is where we will invest heavily in 2024, and I'm personally very excited in the ideas there. Also, there are operational components to this. So, you know, in the past, lots of manual work, and yeah, we try to change things around there on a quite large scale. I'm also excited about how we will support field sales. So like not all of SumUp's products are self-serve for the like very small merchants, but we do have we do have field sales for they are still called small merchants, but you can imagine, you know, like well run, highly frequented cafes and these kinds of things. There is field sales that we will support with a platform and products that we build in the tribe. Also on the marketing website, when you go to SumUp.com, there are projects which, like, I believe will have big impact on new merchant acquisition. I think these are some of the areas that.
Yeah, I can understand why it's exciting. So let's go to Jorn, who I think you've answered in a sense, but maybe you can say if there is something different, let's say. What are your thoughts about office versus home office, remote for engineers? Especially since SumUp seems to span different time zones. If you want to add something compared with what you said about
you need to stop me on this when I run out of time, because it's I was joking with a colleague recently. I think we as an organization, we must have spent 1 million hours, people hours talking about this over the last 1.5 years. So several answers to this. There's the organizational answer, and there is my personal answer. SumUp believes in co-located teams. Just you know, it's very like you care more about your colleagues. The bandwidth of communication is so much higher, and so again, there is no room to issue any directive of like, yeah, but now everybody, this is not how the world works, right? We are also like in terms of the competition for talent, we are not the only competitor, the only one in the ring. So of course we are mindful of realities, right? So we try to be supportive of individual circumstances a lot, and we are not putting too much pressure on, but everybody needs to come to the office. But what we do is we regularly like double down on this, like on this belief that if we had a magic wand, it would be amazing to all be co-located, which we don't, again, realists. I personally, I do have experience with full remote. I worked fully remote 2 years, and I was a huge fan. I loved it for the first few months. And then I did not realize it subtly really got to me and messed up my life. So I was like getting like more and more unhappy, and like I was like with hindsight, it was all clear. I was just like missing human connection. And to me personally, this video conversations uh, are really difficult in this, because the technology is so good that you have this illusion of instancy, but it's an illusion, right? There is still some like milliseconds of time gap. So if you have a heated conversation, then you talk over each other. But because it's working so well, you do not attribute this to the like imperfect technology, but it like gets to the relationship level. So I personally, I'm a fan of the hybrid model. It's like really good. People like do have lives and they need to mind their things. So it's just good to to work from wherever you want. Also others, like I do have colleagues, again, like we do this center of gravity thing, like we are in the office unless we have a very good reason not to. And very good reasons can be, in our case, in my case now, it can be also like, hey man, I just cannot concentrate like here, it's like if I'm in the office for 5 days, I can't get shit done. It's just not possible. So I like my colleagues and I will be there for 3 days per week, but I need my 2 focus days at home and so much more productive. This is for us perfectly fine, right? So yeah, hybrid, heated conversations everywhere. We can make a series of special editions on this topic if you want.
Yes, and I'm so sorry that I think we've have another 5 questions there, which we'll have to somehow organize
Yeah.
outside the webinar. And I
Please,
think
everybody
Martin,
get in touch. This is an honest invitation. I really like to exchange. So ping me on LinkedIn, and super happy to also like have a coffee or
yeah,
anything.
this session is recorded, so people will see it also in replay. So
It's
we
good.
usually
It's
get
great.
lots of visits also from the replay. So okay, thanks for the invitation, dear audience. Enjoy, make the most out of it. I will end the session as I usually end the CTO talks. I'm going to ask you to share with the audience one thing, one recommendation, one advice. If that would be one thing you want to, I don't know, recommend to people who want to be in your place, who want to become a technology leader, work on this career, what is that advice?
So like I'm a big believer in continuous improvement, continuous learning cultures. For this, you need psychological safety, and in my personal journey, like one of the indispensable tools in creating and improving the psychological safety has been owning my mistakes. And this is a recommendation that I would really give to everyone. It's tough. It doesn't come natural because we are humans, right? And it's like it can be awkward, or you can feel stupid after having done something. I would still recommend everyone to try it out, to train that muscle and to constantly get better at this, because especially as a leader, there is really no other way that I know. If somebody knows, then again, please reach out and enlighten me. But like you need to role model this, right? So for me, this like massively impacted my my abilities in shaping this kind of environment. And so I'm aware now, oh, it would be weird if there was now nobody in the audience who thinks like, haha, this sounds very well, but you know, I would get shot if I would own my mistakes. If that is the case in your organization, I would really recommend to find a different organization. And so I find it so important.
Yeah, so I think this is very powerful. You said somehow you squeezed so many small things in a very powerful message, in my opinion. You've also put psychology safety in it. A bit earlier, you said something about humble intellectually. I think that it fits perfectly with what you said right now.
Mhm.
Martin, thanks. Thanks for your answers. I hope the audience enjoyed it. You've dedicated this time for us. I hope we will meet to another CTO talk, maybe in 1 year, to see how things evolve.
Mhm.
And yes, thank you everyone, and have a great week.
Anytime, Cornell. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, as said, do reach out. I love talking about these topics. And yeah, hopefully see you soon.
Bye, Martin. Bye, audience.
Bye-bye. Enjoy your day, everyone. Ciao.